And now the Memphis Police Department has announced it will permanently disband the Scorpion unit in response to this. That raises a lot of questions. All 5 of the officers charged with Nichols' death were members of that unit. The specialized team was meant to focus on violent crime in, quote, hotspot areas. They were the hotspot area, according to Memphis Mayor Jim Strickland. That's what their focus was. But just one day after the release of footage showing the officers beating Nichols, the police department determined this team should deactivate. In a statement, the department claimed the officers currently assigned to the unit agree unreservedly with this next step. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump, who is representing the Nichols family, called the beating of Tyre, quote, a pattern and practice for the unit. The Memphis City Police Chief promised a complete and independent review of all of the department's units, including Scorpion. Joining us now, former Congresswoman Val Demings. More importantly, at this point, she was Orlando's chief of police from 2007 to 2011. And I just would love to dig into your insight as a former police chief, Val. It's good to have you on the show. But and I mean this just very honestly. Can you imagine this happening in your department? What happened here?
Well, let me say good morning and thanks for having me back. Every former police executive and every current one ought to be thinking about this could be my department, or it could have been. This could be or could have been my officers. I mean, let's think about it. Let me just remind everyone of what you already painfully know. They kicked him in the face. They punched him in the face. And our policy, and I'm sure many policies at police departments across the country, said no strikes above the shoulders unless deadly force was justified. Clearly, that was not the case here. They beat him in his back with their baton. They sprayed him. They tased him. They beat him to the point where he called out for his mother. Now, if every decent person in this country, elected officials, police executives, activists, and others, don't understand what went wrong in this case and that we definitely need to do something, I'm not sure where they've been or what they've been thinking or where they are. This is shocking and appalling.
And Val, it just looks like abuse of power, but the fact that they seem to be almost feeding each other on, enjoying it. It looked like something they've done before. And I mean, failure to de-escalate, failure to administer care. Everything failed here.
Everything went wrong, and I called it a night that clearly went off the rails. I am glad, relieved to hear the actions that Chief Davis is taking with this unit. Look, I understand specialized units. Of course, we had them at the police department. Many of them were the results of calls from citizens to do something about gang activity and drug activity in particular communities. They can serve a good purpose. But with this unit, I would pull every arrest, every encounter, every interaction. There has to be a complete review. And let me say this, police officers, look, we work a lot based off of hunches. And I have a hunch, and it's a sad one. I question whether there was ever a legitimate reason to stop Tyre Nichols. I have seen, and look, as a former police chief, I have watched the video from every possible angle. Look, we put up poll cameras in our communities, too, to catch criminals. I guess Memphis did that. I've watched this video over and over again looking for something that would understand the beginning, why this happened, why it started in the first place, and I have not been able to see where there was ever a legitimate, justifiable reason for the stop. We have to get to the bottom of it.
So, Congresswoman, I know Reverend L wants to jump in here, but I just want to point out what you just said here. I mean, are you inferring they were just looking for someone to beat up?
You know, Mika, look, let me say this. I spent 27 years there. I served in every rank It's a profession that I loved. I consider it family. I've seen policing at its best. I've seen policing at its worst. I've worked with some great officers. We know that the overwhelming majority are decent people trying to do a tough job. But I have to, and every police executive, sheriffs, chiefs, all over this country, need to wonder, was this a targeted stop? If it was not, give us the evidence that it was not. I've seen nothing to justify this stop, and if it starts wrong, it's damn sure going to end wrong, which it did.
Yeah.
Chief, Congresswoman, I've called you titles for years, so I'll just say Ms. Demings. You're right at a point I was making. There is no established cause of the stop in the first place. Even the police chief there has said she's not, after reviewing the tapes, seen where there was any reckless driving. The other thing that I want you to address that is so disturbing, and you know this better than anyone as a chief, you could address it, is as you look at the tape after the actual beating and where he's laying there, and they wait all these minutes for finally some to come, with the ambulance and to bring him to the hospital. They're not even discussing then among themselves, we were looking for a gun or he was driving. There's no chit chat about an alleged crime. How does that, from your vantage point as a chief, what does that say about the culture of these special units? And certainly we all salute this chief who, before there were even charges, fired them. But the psyche of people that were just standing around waiting minutes, many minutes, for medical people to come, and they're not even talking about, well, search the car for this or that. They're not even looking for a crime.
Well, Reverend Al, you make such a good point. When the dispatcher clearly asked, and look, I've heard this many times myself as an officer on the street who was engaged in a foot pursuit or, vehicle pursuit, when the dispatcher rightly asked, what are the charges? There was complete silence.
Yeah.
Now, it is what it is. If the charge was reckless driving, if he was engaged in reckless driving, the officer would have quickly, a reasonable officer, let me put it that way, would have quickly said, it's reckless driving. They went after, we stopped him, he went after a gun, he tried to strike it. There was complete silence. And that is such a strong indication that something was drastically wrong with this case. And you're right. Yeah. Even after, things have, Tyre is in custody, there's no discussion. And the supervisor usually comes to the scene, the sergeant or the watch commander comes to the scene and, start from the beginning, tell us what happened. And so there are a lot of unanswered questions. And yes, I commend Chief Davis. I know her personally. She's well-trained and well-experienced, from Atlanta PD to Durham to now Memphis. I commend her for taking quick action. Many states have Officers' Bill of Rights that may, complicate that. But I commend her for taking the quick action that she did. But there are still a lot of unanswered questions, and the family deserves that, and police officers, good police officers, deserve to have those questions answered.
They sure do. Just one quick police chief question for you, Val. To the point that you were making earlier, and you don't even know exactly what they were stopping him for, if anything, would you want investigators and maybe even the press should try and get this, to look at the footage in the hours leading up to this incident, to see what their mindset was, to see what they, to give a full picture?
I would certainly believe that Chief Davis is probably doing just that, because it's very important to understand, when you want to understand the full truth and nothing but the truth and the whole picture, then you start at the beginning. So I certainly would be very interested from the time these officers went in service that night, that evening, and every step along the way that they made. It is critical to us fully understanding and being able to move forward.
All right, former Congresswoman Val Demings, thank you very, very much for coming on the show this morning. It's always good to see you. We appreciate your insight.
Thank you.
Thank you.